this video, we're going to look at how to procedurally evaluate the values of inverse function before proceeding to understand what it means. So on your calculator, right where you have the sine, cosine and tangent button, above that in green, purple or some other color, you will have these inverse notations. To access them, you have to use this second button, which should be on the top left of any calculator you use. And then in mode, just go in and check what mode it is in. I'm on degrees, so I'm going to stay on degrees here. And the first one, let's say I want to evaluate sine inverse root 3 over 2. And I go sine inverse square root of 3 divided by 2, close the parenthesis, and it gives me 60 degrees. So that is 60 degrees or pi over 3 radian. Remember 180 is pi radian. Arc cosine negative 1 over 2 gives me 120 degrees, which is also 2 pi over 3 radians. Tan inverse of 1 gives me 45 degrees, which is also pi over 4 radians. What about cosine inverse 2? And when you do this, you're going to get an error. Can you think of why this is an error? Why does it throw an error? And specifically, why does it say domain error, right? So that means that it means that 2 is not in the domain. That is what it means. Yeah. Think about why that is the case. Okay. So that's using the calculator. Let's see what it really means. For example, if I take arc sine x, what is the input? The input x is a ratio. And what is the output? The output is y, which is an angle in radians or degrees, depending on whatever mode you are using. Example, saying, for example, that arc sine of 1 over square root of 2 is pi over 4, it means that in a triangle whose ratio of opposite to hypotenuse is 1 over root 2, then this angle is going to be pi over 4 radians or 45 degrees. And you can kind of verify this. Root 2, 1 means this side is 1, which means it's an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, these angles are equal. If this is 90, they have to add up to 90. Two equal things adding up to 90, the only possibility is that they are each 45 degrees. So that's what it means, because it's an inverse function. It takes a ratio and it returns the angle. Now let's look at a different kind of example. It says you're given this triangle and you're asked to find theta. So once again, as with regular trig problems, this is the angle we are concerned with. I'm going to label these sides. So this is hypotenuse. Based on this angle, that is opposite. What is the ratio connecting opposite to hypotenuse? Is sine. So by definition, sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, which in this case is 10 over 50, which is 1 over 5. So now I have an equation, sine theta is 1 over 5, which means theta is going to be the inverse sine of 1 over 5. And at this point, you can plug it into the calculator. Sine inverse of 1 divided by 5 is 11.54 degrees. So theta is 11.54 degrees. Now pay attention to this step right here. When you have sine theta is 1 over 5, that means that theta is going to be sine inverse of 1 over 5. Now let's look at a word problem. A 40 feet ladder leans against a building. So because it's a word problem, let's first identify the object. So there is a ladder, there is a building. Let's draw a figure. So there's a building, there's a ladder. The ladder is 40 feet in length. If the base of the ladder, which is right here, is 6 feet from the base of the building, what is the angle formed by the ladder and the building? So they are asking this angle, theta. Next step, I'm going to redraw this as a triangle, just abstracting all the information. Theta 6, 40, 90 degrees. Label the sides, hypotenuse, opposite. So it's again sine theta. In this case sine theta is 6 over 40. So theta is arcsine or sine inverse of 6 over 40, which you can plug in to get 8.63. So this comes out to 8.63 degrees. Okay, so that's the procedural as well as an understanding of what kind of outputs are provided by inverse functions. Okay, that's it for the second video for day 1.